Ian, strikes me that it was a game of very fine margins, and I guess decision making might have been what separated the teams. How did you view it yourself as a manager?
Yeah, you're probably in a nutshell there. I felt in the first half we kind of dominated the game. We were really good without penetrating too much within it. We had a lot of the ball, loads of possession, got to decent areas of the park, a mixture of things there, not good enough delivery, not good enough movement, and sometimes a little bit unlucky, but unlucky only lasts so long. You know, we have to be better than that, and we have to be better than that, and be better at anticipating, be better with our delivery, be better movement up front. And I felt within the game that the game was won and lost in both boxes, which it normally is. And a lot of people going about midfield battles and all this stuff. Yeah, I get that, but the bottom line is the battle lines are at the 18-yard line, and that's where games are won and lost.
What was your view on the kind of, we say decision making, but the key moments in the game were obviously the lead up to the penalty? What was your view to that, and your view of the second one, where I guess you're kind of throwing the cards in the ring and trying to turn it?
I mean, without getting too intricate with the football side of it, there's a lot in it there that's not good. The strikers are too flat for the free kick, which ultimately the player is on his own. We then sell ourselves with Aiden running out, which happens, and then the big one is Ross has made a very poor decision by trying to tackle Mackay. We know he's got pace, we know he can get in behind you, we know that's his attributes, but we were actually within that in a decent structure still. We had Connor at the front post with the two men in the box marked. There was still a lot to do for them to score a goal, and Ross knows that. He's held his hands up, and fair play to the guy for doing that. But again, it's a broken record. There's a line has to be drawn under things somewhere, and people have to accept responsibility. And I take full responsibility for the second goal because I'm asking the players to go forward, and I know we can get hit in the counter attack, and that's what happens when you play against good players and decent sides. So there's a lot for us to think about now over the next sort of 3 to 4 days. Myself, the players, but the immediate thoughts are that we never actually penetrated them enough in the final third. We needed much more from our strikers today, and we didn't get it. We needed our defenders to be rock solid, and for the main, we were decent at the back, but we let ourselves down with the first goal.
What was the key missing ingredient for you today?
Quality in the final third, because we were well on top in the game. As I say, box to box we were actually decent and we were actually okay, but we still need more forward movement, and that it's not just the strikers. Midfielders need to be prepared to run forward and beyond strikers and beyond the ball. We've perhaps got players that are very similar in there, then everything's played in front of Inverness today, and that's what teams want. They want you to play in front of them, and forward runs cause problems for any team. From wherever it is, it causes a defender to make a decision or a reaction, and we didn't get enough of that today. In
terms of our attacking options today, Jamie comes close, and I think probably most people in the stand thought it was going goalwards for a wonder goal, and then moments later he's pulled up with what looked like a groin injury. Yeah. Any early news on that?
Jamie was made an excellent effort from him, and I felt he was doing really well within the game. His appetite was great. It was causing him a lot of problems with his movement, and I thought it was in. To be honest, I thought it was in by a few yards, and then I was surprised to see it go the other side. And if we get that goal, great. But yeah, that's where he injured himself, so we need to assess him tomorrow morning. He's abductor stroke groin. Hopefully it's not too bad, but it's always a concern when a player goes down when there's nobody near them. And I'm disappointed for Jamie more than anyone else in the team, because he's getting a run of games, and he was looking really sharp today.
In terms of striking options, you were saying through the week that you were kind of deciding on a few options there, and you've just said that we were a bit kind of similar in our options today. Is that something that we might see some movement on? Is that the $1 million question?
Yeah, I think days like today sometimes hit home a message and make a decision for you, to be quite honest. And yeah, hopefully this week we will move on something, because the more games you play in this league, the more you get to understand it. I feel there's a potential player that will enhance our squad now, will give us a different balance to it, will help our other strikers, and we can a bit more experience as well, and understanding of the game. So I'm hopeful that'll be something that we can possibly do this week. Again, it's in the hands of the laws, if you like, that we have to wait and see. But I do feel that we probably need now to add to that area of the park, especially if Jamie has got an injury. Dylan Easton obviously took a knock as well, so we need to, he's away to get an X-ray now, so it's another one down, possibly. Positive is Brad Spencer got back in the park.
As football people, we've always got to speak about the reality of the game that we've just watched, and ultimately it's a defeat today, but we always try and look for some positivity in the interviews and the message to supporters who also be kind of regrouping. I guess the key one today is Brad Spencer's back, and he intimated that he might have made the bench, but he's actually got some game time, and what was his 100th appearance for Raith Rovers? Yeah,
delighted for Brad to be back, because he's a hungry player, and we have missed him, and I can understand the supporters' frustrations. I'm the most frustrated man in Kirkcaldy right now after the game, and it's a really hard game to sum up, because there really wasn't anything in the game. If anything, the disappointment for me is we never went in the second half and showed the quality that we tried to show in the first half. And I've got no qualms with the boys' work rate and their appetite for the game or their attitude towards the game, but we need to be better than that with our decision making and understanding the repercussions of not being 5 yards deeper in the park at a free kick, not being in a better structure in case we lose the ball, and we're going to have to perhaps become a little bit more less pretty in the eye to get results in this league.
You managers face an incredible conundrum in the highs and lows of games, but we'll wish you well for your reflections across this week, and we'll catch up before the Broth game.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Davey.